Oh man, okay, so what is going on here? Like, when we jump and do all this stuff, basically the lock check is not working properly. I guess maybe I need to just throw this right here and just be like, does not equal on ground. Because what's happening is I'm hitting the jump key and it's like, okay, so we should lock the Z value, but we're running up a hill and we immediately land, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we're still within like this lock position offset thing and it's not getting reset. And what should happen is it should... God, I'm not even sure. Like, this could cause stuttering when you're running up a slope and you hit the jump key, it just freaks out on you. Alright, Gargan, we'll see you when you get back. So we jump for just a second, and what ends up happening is I guess we're moving too fast up. So the lock check triggered, and what we want to do is the like has lock position. Calculate Z allowance. Why don't we fix that one thing? Let's begin play, which is like follow actor. So let me just throw this inside of like a tick camera. Let's implement the snap, and the snap is going to tick the camera with 0 time, and it's going to set like snap to position to true or something like that. So let's start that off with false and set it to true when we need to. So alright, so it'll do all these things with 0 time and update, compute final camera position, or then it's going to be the update camera position function. So it's this actual compute, I believe. So basically what we're going to want to do here is if m snap to position, we're going to want to do these, otherwise m snap to position equals false. Alright. Otherwise, basically, final camera pause y equals the wanted final camera pause y, and final camera pause z equals camera pause z. Alright, let's do that. So this should snap our camera at least when we spawn to the correct position. We'll have that fixed. So now we need to, then we'll concentrate on the lock position stuff and figure out what we need to do, because we're running up hills and we jump. Our lock position is getting set. And basically what should be happening is it should be very quick. It should be like your lock position gets set and then it recovers very quickly. And the problem is it's not recovering. Because if you jump, it should look kind of strange. Like it should, allow you to move up in the screen and all that stuff. So you should be able to kind of stutter it. But it shouldn't jump, it should just like quickly rubber band back into position. So the problem has to do with our setting our lock position is not getting set to false or something like that. Alright, so what exactly is... We're triggering it at the proper times, but when do we actually, untrigger it? Our lock check has untriggered. Max vertical speed is equal to 0? What is this max vertical speed? That's just used for determining if we're locking or not. The lock Z value is getting reset. So it's this vertical allowance start, perhaps? Which is being used for... No. So it's going to be our Z fix speed, probably. Because that's what we want to be able to do, is just jump like that. But we shouldn't get that lock differential. Anyway, I need to take a very quick break, and I'll be back in just a couple moments. So let's read the code. How is this thing actually determining where it's supposed to be? It's saying if the current position is, if we have a locked position, which we don't. So we're setting this lowest Z value, and this lowest Z value is set to the locked position. So we set the locked position properly, and then basically if subtract from lowest, well, it's just Twitch for you, Lucas. They do all sorts of crazy stuff. Also, welcome. We're trying to work on the camera right now. We're having trouble when we're running up a slope and we jump. The code that fixes the camera so we can jump and still see the ground and all that is making it so things don't really play very well. So we're going to have subtract from lowest, and Z fixed speed is going to be the Z fixed speed is going to be the camera allowed speed, and it's going to be subtract from lowest is true. Okay, so it's our Z fixed delay. That's probably screwing it up. So what is our Z fixed delay? It is camera allowance lock delay. Camera allowance delay. I mean, if we set this camera allowance delay to 0, let's see what happens. No, that's definitely not what we want. No, it doesn't have anything to do really with speed. It has to do with running up a hill. Alright. Wait, what? I mean, it's basically that if our physics state is on the ground, then we want this thing to do what it does. Maybe this will have an effect. I don't know if Mystery Science Theater 2000 would merge too well with side-scrolling games. Basically, as long as this thing fixes itself, that's okay. It's if we have this weird, it never fixes itself, then we have a big problem. Let's see. Well, why isn't it? If lowest C is greater than that, lowest C is 0. Alright, so it's basically right here, so it's like, if we're on the ground, if subtract from lowest, Yeah, so if we are on the ground, then we're going to make sure subtract from lowest is true. It's like, well, if we're on the ground, we should definitely be subtracting from our lowest value. Otherwise, we need to reset and do all that. So this will actually move the camera up. Alright, so why don't we try that? Well, we'll get there eventually. It's a lot of work to do. So let's see. If I jump, that's not fixing itself. Alright, why is it not fixing itself? Oh, thank you, Lucas. Thanks for cheer all the things today. Hooray! Sorry, I'm just I'm just in just like an awful mood today, so I'm just like So I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Thank you for your support. We're just doing what we can at the moment. Alright, so we're subtracting our z-fix speed is our camera allowance speed. Current position is at lowest speed plus equals delta t times speed. So the lowest z is going to get moved upwards. I need a cheer jar. I probably do. I should do that. Made out of ASCII symbols. There's a lot of stuff I should probably do with my Twitch channel. I've gotten pretty lazy and I haven't really made it any cooler. Alright, so I need to, our lowest speed, it's basically going to be this value, so we should be subtracting from lowest. So we should be subtracting %f from lowest, which is now %f. So it's speed and then lowest z. So we should be there. Your bits in binary. Like that one YouTube April Fool's thing where they had the ASCII mode for all the pictures, for all the videos. That was pretty cool. Alright, so what's not happening here is our z is not getting fixed. Because like the z displacement offset stuff is in screen space after the actual camera moves, so it's not like we're moving too fast and the camera's not catching up. The camera's catching up, it's just that it has this box on the screen which is in a different mathematical space than world space. So what's not happening is our subtract from lowest is something is messing up our speed or something like that. It's been a while since I looked at the camera code, so I'm just like, camera code, why? So what was the value? So we are subtracting a whole bunch from lowest, which is now blah. Looks like we're not actually using our lowest Z. It's this has lowest Z, which is a problem. That's what it looks like. No, this is none of those things. This has to do with how the offset's working. It's basically the subtraction is working properly, but we're not even using the damn numbers from lowest Z here. Lowest Z is only working if we have a lowest Z. So its has lowest Z is well, why is it fixing itself? So basically we're going up, we put as low as C where we jump, and then we land, and then we're subtracting, and the current speed is, I guess, correct, but this is one of those where it's just, I'm not really feeling it, so what normally would be a very easy problem to solve is just turning into me stuck on some stupid crap. So it looks like Karakan is right. I'm pretty sure what's going on is we need to take our Z into account for moving on the ground. Because it's grabbing that Z location and we're moving so fast up in the Z that it's never actually going to catch up because we're moving too quickly along the vertical. So if we're on the ground, basically our catch-up speed has to add in our current frames. Our current speed, so we need our previous position for our object. So the camera should be updated after everything's moved. So if you're on the ground, we need to add in that history. So it's going to be I guess we're gonna need our history values here. Does the movement component already have this data on it? So we do have our previous position, and we can call get previous position on it. Alright, so F vector new position equals this, F vector old position equals that, and we basically want lowest z plus equals new position dot z minus old position dot z, and it's going to be if new position dot z is greater than old position dot z. Now the question is this going to cause a one frame stutter when we land, when we jump? Well, Lucas, it always depends on the context with those emotes. If it's just somebody who always does that crap, that can be pretty annoying though. It's kind of like, can't you? You know, it's like Japanese girls trying to end all their sentences in "ne" or something to sound cute. It's just like, that's just annoying. Yeah, well, sometimes I gotta focus on a few things, so I kind of block everything else out, and my brain will catch up later. So let's see if this does what we want it to. Alright, well this fixed it so it recovers. But if you keep jumping, it doesn't look right at all. So why exactly is that? It's because we're running, and then we jump. I mean, the other thing we could do is if your speed is just too high, like we can just take your speed and or something like that. No, we don't want that. I mean, what the hell can we even do about this? Like, when you're running and you jump, like you're in the air. It's basically like we just don't want the follow. But there aren't any rules and conditions that really apply. I mean, I could just not let you jump. God, what the hell? I don't see a good way to programmatically do this. Like, we want when he's moving slow, but it's not necessarily moving slow. It's like the intention is to jump and to do all that. It would basically be like